Well, here with former Derry player Conleith Gilligan in the aftermath of Derry's 2-8 to 1-6 defeat to Galway in the All-Ireland football semi-final. Conleith, what went wrong?
Look, I think probably in the first half when Derry were in the ascendancy, they kicked a few wides and they were 3-4 points better in the first half and they didn't get the scores, and I suppose the blow from Hawkeye, with that point being given whenever Derry thought they were a point up at half time. And I do wonder if Derry knew at half time about that, because the players looked a wee bit shell shocked whenever it went up on the scoreboard just after it. Galway got the throw in and they get 2 quick points, and all of a sudden it went from being a point up to being 2 point down in 2 plays. So Galway just got to grips of it at half time, and Derry never really could wrestle control back from that point.
It's easy to say after the fact that it made no difference because Galway had such a winning margin, but let's go through it. When Shane Walsh kicked that 45, that would have made it 4-3, and then Comer kicked another point afterwards to make it 4-all. But it was 4-3 at half time because we didn't know Walsh's point was going to be awarded. And you can correct me if I'm wrong on the timeline here. The officials were standing out under the Hogan stand. We all knew it was going to be awarded. Now, I'm not sure how the mechanics of it work. Were they told by Hawkeye? Were they told by TV people? How they were told, how the decision came to be. And also, Conor Glass had one ruled out earlier in the half that looked like it was between the posts when the graphic was shown on Hawkeye, but it was waved wide. So it was a strange sequence of events. Yeah, it was. And the one thing that I wonder in terms of umpires and officialdom is that every game you come to in Croke Park, Hawkeye has gone to 2, 3, up to 4 times a game. And I'm wondering, how sure are we in provincial areas whenever you just have sort of people and the fact that it can go wrong? So the games are such fine margins, and while Galway won by a distance at the end, you just cannot accentuate how difficult it is in them moments where being a point up to being a point down with a stroke of a pen or a touch of a button becomes very, very difficult for players, and the momentum swing, and with the momentum swing comes energy, and all of a sudden Derry go from being in the lead to chasing the game by 2 points, and then everything looks different. When you're chasing the game, you look more tired, you don't have that extra energy, and whenever Galway got into the ascendancy, they hit the front, and in Damien Comer they had the star performer of the day, and he was exceptional. And the thing about him was that he wasn't on the ball all the time, so it's a difference. It wasn't activity, it was productivity. When he had touched the ball 8 times, he'd already scored 2-2, and that was just incredible for a return for a player. But his ability shows, and he'll be a real handful for any of them players in the final. It's very easy for me to ask, but as a coach you can maybe give me a bit of detail in the answer. Why didn't Derry just go long into Galway square? Why didn't they put Conor Glass at full forward, put him on top of that goalkeeper? Because Galway really struggled under the high ball against Armagh.
Yeah, look, I think that's maybe simplistic, and as far as Derry haven't played that way all year, and it was going to be a seismic shift, could there have been a plan B? Yeah, they possibly could have, but the fact that Derry didn't own enough ball in the second half, Galway owned the ball and Derry then had to chase it out. Derry's game plan of sitting in and waiting is based on them being at a draw or maybe winning, and it was the first time that they'd fallen way behind. Obviously they were 2 points behind Donegal, but the game was still tight. It was in Ulster, it was in Clonus, but in Croke Park, whenever the game goes away from you, is a very lonely place. And look, it'll be disappointing for the players tonight, but they've given us a great year. They'll learn from that. Even the like of Lachlan Murray coming on, doing well, scoring a goal, that'll really propel them players, and it's how they stick together now. Sometimes you have to go to Croke Park to compete to learn how to win here. Derry will evolve that game. They've been very defensive this year, but they'll have a basis now for moving forward, and they can add layers to the attack, but very hard so early on just to make everything work perfectly. I'm
going to bring Brendan Devenney in. He's just standing off camera at the moment. He's going to step in. Brendan, get in here beside Conleith as always. Can Galway beat whoever wins tomorrow between Kerry and Dublin?
Yeah, certainly. But listen, Kerry Dublin, the championship, I don't know if they've just set it alight. Certainly not Kerry in the last performance, and if Dublin are missing a Con, I think that's their main man up front. So what we're seeing there with Comer, I mean, who's going to mark him? He's just unreal at the minute, and I just think with Galway, Joyce came in and said, listen, I'm here to win All Ireland. He's won promotion, he's won Connacht, and he's ticking all the boxes at the moment. So you think Galway are up and up, and I think the tradition got a bit lost in Galway there. With the new tactics that come into the game, with Walsh coming in there, and people weren't happy, and I think Joyce coming in, the legend that he was as a player, was really, I think, has galvanised the lads there. And I think what people like about Galway is their intent to go out and win the game. They want to post high scores, and I think that's just where Derry fell down that small bit today.
And just before I let you go, gentlemen, Conleith, I'm not sure if you'll be able to watch tomorrow the second semi-final, but who do you think is going to win it? And you're allowed the caveat here of if Dublin have Con or if Dublin don't have Con. There's rumours circulating that he's not even in the 26, but I don't know if that's a certainty. I don't know if he is or isn't.
Yeah, I think the expectation is that he hasn't been named in the 26, and to be named now in the 26 would have to be a COVID-related matter. So the fact he's not in it would mean he's not playing, and if he's not playing, it's a savage advantage to Kerry, who have Clifford obviously 2 weeks better prepared than the last day. So look, I think Kerry have the forward line to match them, and without Con, I think Kerry will just have a wee bit too much.
Yeah, listen, I agree. You'd have to agree with that. You know, he's such an important player for them, and he makes the whole forward line tick. You know, he takes the best man. He has to be doubled up on and allow space for other people. So I think that's the difference. Paddy Clifford's probably the big player coming in this tomorrow. You know, we haven't seen the best of him in the last couple of games. He usually provides the bullets for inside men, and I think his playmaking ability is vital. It's probably something that was missing today, particularly from a Derry perspective. McGuigan, as we know, is quality inside. There wasn't anybody to maybe get the best of him. That said, Derry's forward line looks so cramped, so I think that is, you've got to make space for these top guys. The way Comer was isolated 1-on-1 today, that's what you're going to look. You're going to look for Clifford to be 1-on-1 inside. If he is, Dublin are in trouble.
Okay, Brendan Devenney and Conleith Gilligan, thank you very much. Cian Mackey would have been part of this video, but he has to rush off to Westlife. This is not a place of judgment. I say let him go.
He's playing without wings.
That's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. As it, you know,
I'm only disappointed as I was going to say it.
I was going to say you say it best when you say nothing at all, but I realise that's a Ronan Keating song. The guys are on in action for BBC Radio Ulster today, so I really do appreciate you hanging on. That's it from Croke Park, where Galway have beaten Derry 2-8 to 1-6 in the All-Ireland semi-final. More on this match and everything else on Off the Ball's website, offtheball.com, and of course all the Off the Ball social media channels. From Croke Park, goodbye.